My name's Emma Crowley-Bennett. My drag name is Fanny Bleach, and my show is called The Nearly Naked Show. Its kind of top line is a reclamation of the naked body in all its gory glory. And it is a kind of weird freak show of characters, all of which I play, obviously. And it's kind of a step into Fanny Bleach's mind. So all of these different characters are kind of aspects of myself, and they're weird and grotesque, and all of them are kind of a little bit, but not quite naked.
Yes. And
Mm.
how would you describe your style of comedy for people who haven't seen you before?
I think it's alternative, I guess. It's kind of a mixture of drag and cabaret. And my background is in sketch. My theatre company is Your Aunt Fanny is a sketch company and sketch group. So it's kind of sketch mixed with drag, cabaret. It's weird. It's just very weird, but fun, but like good weird.
Yeah, good.
Mhm.
And then what was the light bulb moment that made you decide to write this show?
It's quite a weird one, actually. So I guess you know the background of the show.
Yeah, yeah, I've read the releases and
Of
everything.
it. Cool. Yeah, I'll just crack on. But so yeah, I made a formal complaint about a director at my drama school, and June. I mean, this is years later. Um, I guess I had a light bulb moment about what all of that was, and I made this complaint, and the uni were really rubbish, and they weren't communicating with me very well, and I felt very in the dark. I felt kind of like a young person again, like because I was think it was about 20, 21 when I was there and when it happened. Um, so I felt very out of control, and I was doing like some journaling in the mornings, some morning pages, and I was seeing a therapist once a week and talking about it a lot, and I felt very kind of yeah, belittled and not listened to. And then I had a dream that I had a fanny puppet and it was singing I Did It My Way. And I woke up and was like, oh fuck, I could just do it my way. I
Yeah.
could like take control of this shit situation and make something ridiculous out of it. It kind of make it because it felt so, and it was, but it felt so big and dark and scary. And to make it into something like silly and funny and for me powerful, that was kind of the point. And I thought initially it was going to be called the Not Naked Show. And I kind of imagined it being like a 50-minute cock tease or I never take my clothes off. It's like it's a very different now. Now it's kind of
Yeah.
its own world, like this living organism that just has its own life. Um, but yeah, it was kind of it came from a place of needing to take control of something really difficult in my life and make it silly and fun.
And why is 2026 the year for this show?
So I mean, I've been making the show for 2 years, which feels kind of crazy, but um, it's more that it wasn't ready,
Yeah.
and then I went traveling, and now I'm back. So it feels like the right time, and yeah, it just it feels right at the minute.
And obviously, performing it in the character, why do you think the elements work so well together, kind of performing the kind of grotesque and the glamour of the character?
Mm. Um, so I never actually my drag name is Fanny Bleach, but I don't really know who that is. Fanny Bleach is just kind of all of it.
Yeah.
And the actual show is led by a young lad called Daniel on his work experience, which I've come to kind of realize is kind of maybe me as a child. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
like he's the one that you're kind of on board with, and he's the more normal one that will hold your hand whilst you meet all these different freaks. Um, and I think the grotesqueness of the freaks, for me, uh, I've just find watching like AFAB people and women being disgusting and weird and gross really powerful and inspiring. So I kind of just that's what I do. I can't really do anything else. I could just be gross.
And how do you kind of reflect on your career growth to leading up to this point to where you are right now?
Mm. Well, I've actually not really had much of a career. Um, my theatre company is the thing that's been steady this whole time, and that we make stuff like quite regularly, and we get a lot of gigs, and that's really great. But personally, because I lived in London for many years, I just couldn't. I was just so poor. Like I was working a million jobs. I was gigging as doing drag and alternative comedy and stuff, which actually is an unusual route that I wasn't imagining would be what I did. But that has kind of flourished, and I won a drag competition. And I think from that, it's kind of there's some momentum there. But I was meant to be an actor, and then that all kind of fell by the wayside slightly. But it feels really good to take control a bit and make my own work. I think I've realized I've always kind of done it, but now I've realized that actually maybe that's where the magic lies a bit. You just make your own weird stuff and put it out there and see what happens.
And obviously, this one's your solo comedy debut at the Fringe. How do you mentally and physically prepare for the month of August that's coming?
I'm really scared. Actually, I am actually quite nervous. But I've got things in place that I know will make me feel better. Like I'm staying with a good friend who's got her show on, and she's the most relaxed person I've ever met in my life. So that really rubs off on me. I've got family and friends visiting all throughout the month who will stay with me and see the show. And even just having like one person in the audience who I know, I can get so much from them, even if I just clock them and we both think it's hilarious that this is what's happening. It just gives me some energy to get through. So a lot of that, I'll try and go running, but I bet I won't.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you couldn't give out a flyer, but you had to flyer, what object would you give out to represent the show?
Oh, I think I'd like, you know that the little pots of like farty slime
Yeah, yeah.
that you put your thumb in and it farts. Weirdly, that's what first came up. And it would be like lime green, maybe there's some glitter in there, and like the text on the thing is purple, and I just fart it and give it to people. I think that, yeah.
That's superb. And then what is one item that you'll be packing that you can't survive the Fringe without?
God. It's awful because I've got so many props and costumes that are in the show, so I don't even
Yeah.
know how I'm going to get them there. Yeah. So my own personal things, I imagine I'll forget everything that's important. But if it's been made in time, I have this toy that like a soft toy that my mate at uni made me. It was a sloth, but I sent it to her to fix her up a bit because she lost her eyes and her nose and her mouth. So she's getting a facelift. If that, if she's ready, then I'll take her because she's like the most nice thing to hold. Yeah.
Then for you, what would you deem as success at the end of the Fringe run?
I think an I remember listening to a podcast with Sophie Willen, and she said one of her regrets was that she didn't just enjoy herself at the Fringe, and she was too bogged down in reviews and getting people in and all this kind of stuff that she forgot about every other part of it. So I really just want to try and enjoy myself a bit and meet other performers and make connections there. I think living with my one of my really close mates for a month, hanging out with different people who make similar work and hopefully collaborating in the future. For me, that feels successful. Obviously, Soho run, all that stuff would be great, but I'm just setting my expectations manageably low.
And for you, what is one Edinburgh spot that you'd recommend to people when they're not kind of watching shows?
The original mosque kitchen every time. Every time I go there, I eat there. It's like part of a mosque and it's lovely, calm environment. Like people are like praying and the curry is insane. You get like a plate of curry for a fiver and you can get like four curries and the samosas are 50p. So I'll be there constantly. Yeah.
And you've sold it really well, but can you simply describe the show in just 5 words?
Um, grotesque, sparkly, heartfelt, silly, and important.
Great. And what
Yeah.
would you hope someone does take away from seeing the show?
I always think I just want people to have a good time. I just think I did an interview for something recently. I can't remember what it was, but it was about so one of the questions was how do you think it's an artist's job to be political and make a comment on the world around them? And like in some respects, yes, I believe that, but in other respects, I think like I'm not really anyone. So can I just make the word that I want to make, which is fun and silly. And for like an hour, you can escape all the shit outside and just come into some weird little spot and live in this different world. I would just like people to just kind of have some like positive amnesia, have a good time, and then just leave feeling a little bit lighter and a bit and like yeah, they've had fun.
And simply, where can people see the show?
So it's Assembly Rooms Roxy downstairs every night except I think the 17th and the 25th at 9:50 p.m.